So, guys, of course, yesterday I dropped a video talking about how I wanted to add value. Just to give you a little bit about myself. So, originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and grew up with a single mom who had 4 kids. And now I am 43 years old, and I am at the point in my life. I'm reshaping my life at 43. Really, it started a little bit before 43. It was when I was studying to get a grad degree in California. Had a great opportunity that was provided by the military. But one of the things I just really want to talk about today is how your childhood can affect your adulthood, which is extremely important. I think we know that right now with mental health and with the transitioning of from childhood to adulthood, and some of the issues that you bring into your life. And one of the things that I didn't know is not having a father around. How would that really affect me as a young adult or adolescence going into young adulthood? Not having a dad around, I wasn't able to ask those questions, and at that time, I didn't know how to really ask a question. So, if you are somebody that has dealt with traumas in your childhood, um, and you have somebody you can really trust, I mean, like really trust, I would ask them questions. I wouldn't hold things in because you can cause a lot of damage to other people. From my experience, not understanding and not understanding how to love myself effectively caused me to, when I was young, to do some things that were just, I think, inappropriate. That means, like having sex at a young age, having sex with multiple partners. That really affected me going into my adulthood because I really didn't know how to know who I was and really love myself well. And so that will then play out in other ways. I got married really young. I remember when I told my mom that I was getting married, because I got married at 22 after meeting my now ex-wife, uh, after 45 days after meeting her. And my mom tried to give me wisdom, but being egotistical and arrogant, after coming off my first military deployment, I thought I knew what I was doing. And now I'm able to look back and understand that the reason I was so, I think, resistant against what my mom was saying is because I really didn't know how to receive good feedback and information. And it was just, part of that environment. I think what I try to do as a dad now is really try to listen. I'm not saying I'm perfect at all. And my kids will probably say, like, Dad, you don't listen to me. And at times I don't listen, but then I go back and I'll apologize to them and tell them where I was wrong. But my inability of not listening, my mom was saying, hey, you haven't lived. And what she was communicating at that time is, I haven't had enough experiences to be able to say, yes, I'm going to take on this responsibility as a husband and as a man. And what happened when I look at my childhood and the experiences with having sex at an early age, dealing with playing around with girls and boys at a young age, because that happened to me. And I'm just being real vulnerable. And I remember there's a time that someone that was older, there was inappropriate relationships going on even at that time when I was a much younger. And those things really affect who you are. They affect your development. Now, I look back now, being able to look back, I don't look back with regret, because if I look back with regret, then I'm not able to share, in my opinion, I'm not able to share where I went wrong, and how you or someone that you love, how you can help them or how you can help yourself overcome some of those difficult situations. I think the important thing is to look back with grace and compassion on your younger self. Um, a lot of people are unwilling to have that honest conversation with themselves, and so they find themselves doing some of the very same things they did when they were children or when they were young adults. As they got older, they end up doing the same behaviors because they were not honest with themselves. So I want to be honest with myself and look back with compassion and notice that I didn't have a dad around. So it wasn't, I think it was about 12 years old. I think between 11 and 12 years old. And I remember, I love my dad, and I don't judge him for the lifestyle he chose or anything like that, or my mom, because I like to say I live in a glass house, and out in front of my house there are stones, and I'm not trying to throw one at someone, because I lived in that kind of mental environment where I thought I was better. I was a part of a particular community that stressed other people are different, and that did not play out well because I wasn't able to be who I knew I should be, the type of loving person that I can be. And so, with that being said, I remember my dad not showing up a few times, and then I saw my older brother. One time his dad had came by, and I believe that he was supposed to go somewhere and wasn't able to go. And I made it up in my mind at that point, not to depend on what my dad would say when I would talk to him on the phone, or when he would come back, and I would see him periodically. And it wasn't like a consistent thing, because my dad spent a lot of time in the penitentiary, in and out of the penitentiary, and he spent a lot of time in the streets of Cleveland, and just kind of his life path in this journey, some things he chose for himself. I was able to look at it at a young age and say, I can't depend on that. And then other things down the road, when I found myself joyriding in a stolen car at the age of, I think it was 14 years old, hanging out with my older brother, because we gave a pager to a crackhead who sold it for crack, and we were riding around in that guy's wife's vehicle, who then reported it stolen. And I found myself in a holding cell one day, and in that holding cell, I was talking to my older brother at the time, and I said, man, I was so afraid of Bubba, the big dude who was going to take advantage of me if I went to jail. And the police officer at the time, because we got picked up somewhere close to 152nd and St. Clair, and that police officer at the time, he had came back and he said, hey man, called your mom, she's not coming. And man, I cried. I really cried, because I thought my mom wasn't coming. But at the time, my mom told them, hey, she was going to church and she was coming. She just wanted them to let us know that. And that really kind of changed my perspective in some of the street life that I had witnessed from my dad. I was like, man, I don't want to go to jail. I dabbled in selling drugs for a little bit, and I realized that, hey, this is not for me. I don't want to be looking over my shoulder, watching out for my life. So that was some of the things that I was able to learn. So when I'm looking back, I look back with compassion on myself, because I was able to make some decisions that allowed me to get in the military. Had it been for like a really hard background, I probably wouldn't have been able to join the military, based on if I'd have got a felony versus on probation for joyriding in a stolen vehicle. So I say that to say that if I put myself in your shoes, and if you're going through something hard and it's something tied to your past, I will look back with some compassion. I wouldn't look back with judgment on a family or yourself, but look back with compassion. There are some decisions that I wish I wouldn't have made, because I know I caused other individuals harm, and it stunted some of their development and growth. But I'm able to now look back and how do I prepare another generation or other people to be more loving, to be more caring and compassionate toward themselves and other people that they're dealing with, because that's extremely important. My whole goal, like was said yesterday, is to add value. My goal with shooting these videos is really to add value. So ask yourself that question. Talk to that younger kid within you. What are the things that you were exposed to that that really cause some heartache and pain? And can you forgive yourself? That's the biggest thing. Can you forgive yourself for some of the things you have done? I'm willing to look back and forgive myself and take full responsibility of some of the things that I've done, uh, and really now to help other people traverse those things. Even as a coach, not a sports coach, but as a life coach, is helping people navigate those brick walls to get over that brick wall or destroy the brick wall completely, and so that mental block never stops them from moving forward. So I encourage you, continue to move forward. I love you. Can't wait to speak to you. Leave comment, like, subscribe, share this with someone. Talk to that younger kid. If you got to get therapy, get therapy. It's okay. I went through a therapist and looking to getting connected with another therapist, because to continue to move forward is the important thing. To get held up and then the ifs and wishes, that's not a way to live your life. All right, you guys take it easy.